Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk, thinking right out here in the lab. What I do for you. Got a nice lesson for you today. Short and sweet, but nice. No less. Let's go. Rightism. 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in receiving them. Your numbers are looking good. I really appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's continue. Right thinking mission. And that's what I'm on. I appreciate you for letting me do it. It's to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline employed daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is to get all right thinkers to do just that. So I'm here every day giving you the information that'll help you do that. But know thyself. That's the goal for all right thinkers. Okay? That's my plan. That's my mission. I'm on to get anybody following me to do just that. Know themselves. All right, the question. Do you know you? Yeah, okay. If you don't, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not knows not that they even know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's what I do what I do for you. Stay tuned. I got you. I appreciate you too. A person who knows not and believes and think they do, dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows what knows not that they know. They're asleep spiritually. I'm the spiritual law class here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right there, because know that self. And to my app, be true. Today we're going to talk about one word. I like the one word. Easy to deal with. Sacrifice. Personally, I think it's the ingredient for a happy life. Well, how could be a sacrifice? It's a good question. I'm trying to answer that. I got 25 little situations here to answer that question for you, put in perspective. Hopefully, you get the concept. Let's go. Sacrifice, the ingredient for a happy life. If you think you can make it through life without making a sacrifice, think again. And you ain't thinking right. Why? Let's talk about it. When you sacrifice, first of all, you're bettering your life. What that? Yes, that's right. You have to give to receive. God bless the cheerful giver. So if you're not a giver, you ain't making sacrifices, and you blocking your own blessings. Just understand the concept. Stay with me. Now let's go. It's gonna be a minute, but when I get done, hopefully it'll take shape and you get the concept. No, let's go. Now, when you sacrifice, first of all, when you sacrifice what you want to make someone else happy, you're doing a good thing. And for that, it's be recognized. The person that you sacrifice for may never know nothing, and they don't have to. Why? Because the goal is to do something for them, make them happy, to appease them, to do whatever it is, but it's giving of yourself for somebody else's happiness. If you're in a relationship, fellas, if you ain't sacrificing for your other half, ladies, if you ain't willing to sacrifice for your other half, it go both ways. That pendulum goes both ways. I don't say one without the other. I don't just do male. I don't just do female. Equal opportunity. Why? That's what karma is. She don't particularly care what you are. It is what it is. So understand that when I teach from that perspective. I'm not masculine heavy. I'm not female heavy. I'm fair. My eye. Balance. So remember, sacrifice is done if there's no hidden agenda. A lot of us make a sacrifice on the premise that if I do this, then they gotta do that. If I do this, then they gotta do that. That's the deal maker. That deal maker is the other guy. So if you a deal maker, check yourself. So a sacrifice is made from the heart. That's why God knows the sacrifice you made. The person do it don't need to know. He know. But just like he know when it's sincere, he also see when it's not. That is the caveat for all you sneaky, deceitful people who think you can trick and fool people. You keep the records of that, so you can be your own worst enemy. Okay? The enemy, our enemy is inside us. That ego. That's the enemy. Okay? Understand that. All right, there you go. Ace deuce trick. If you can put aside your own selfish desires to allow someone else to be happy, that's blessed worthy. Why? Because you're being unselfish. I practice a selfless service. You do things for the right reason. Mhm. Do that. Sacrifice and you'll be rewarded. No sacrifice, no reward. No helping of others, no benefits to you. Simple. If you don't make sacrifices, here you go, you won't be blessed. I know that for a fact. Certain things, no matter for everything I teach you, I already know. Why? I practice, I perform it. I know just what I'm talking about. And when it comes to dealing with that guy upstairs, your higher self, I know a lot about that experience. Moving on. Now, to give up something you want for somebody else to be happy, that's why I think philosophy. I don't listen to the biblical concept or whatever they pray. I don't know I don't even know. But I know that if you sacrifice for the good, you will be blessed. No sacrifice, no blessings. That's the fact. Okay? But to give up what you want for somebody else's happiness, that's sacrifice. That's what I think of philosophy. If you're in a relationship, you should be a sacrificer. You should be sacrificing if you want to be happy. If you practice making daily sacrifices daily, aka by doing the right thing, you will be blessed. Teach it, preach it. More important, I live it. So I'm telling you what I know for a fact. True. Right hand of God. In the other right hand. I just tested you. All right. Now, when you sacrifice, and understand that when you sacrifice, you're showing you're the bigger and better person. Always you want to be that person. Winning an argument, winning that little spat, don't make you a better person. Sacrificing to make the situation better makes you a better person. I'm going there. I'm not a wedding counselor. I'm not that nonsense. But I just tell you what it is and how it is. So from that concept, petty or Satanian, aka egoistic people, I know a lot of them. Some of them don't know themselves, so they don't know who they are, and they perform these acts unintentionally, ignorantly. Why? Because they don't know, so it's okay. But watch this. The petty and Satanian, egoistic people will never, hear me, will never make personal sacrifices for anyone. You know that person that every time you may need something from them, they claim to be your friend, yeah, your boy, or your BFF and nonsense. But every time you got to call on them and rely on them for something, they never come to the plate. They never come to the plate and do what you need to do. Leave them alone. Those are the petty, satanic, egoistic people who are selfish. The first thing about the ego people, selfish. That's the number one key to find out what kind of person you're dealing with. If they selfish, Leave them be. They stuck on ego. I can tell you right thinkers sacrifice made daily will earn you, okay, blessings daily. I can tell you when you make your sacrifices on a daily basis, you will be blessed on a daily basis. Let me know if you ever made a sacrifice and didn't get blessed in return for doing it for the right reason. If your heart is not in the sacrifice, it's not sacrifice. You're making a deal, okay? You don't respect the deal makers. Remember, this is the way he dwells. So he know your intent. He knows your intent. So if it ain't real, he'll know. That's why I all see it. Okay, so let's understand that. Let's get down here to the next one. Sacrifice takes self and spiritual discipline. Both of them. The self-discipline to make to do the right thing according to how you feel about what you know. Spiritual discipline is asking to a higher power. So you cover it on both ends. If you understand that, then you'll make the sacrifice necessary to do what? So that you have your blessings that's due to you for what? Making a sacrifice. If you can't make the sacrifice, or you don't make the sacrifice, you can't get a blessing. I'm getting better every day with what? We're making my sacrifices for others. What I do? I live right. I treat people right. I do the right thing by others. It ain't about me. It's about making sure everything gets taken care of. I'll take a short to make sure everything go right. That's no problem. That's sacrifice. Okay? We getting there. I ain't gonna let the cat out the bag. I will do what's right. When? Every time. From now on. I wasn't always this way. So I made the change, and I know for a fact I'm going to do the right thing now. Why? I will make the sacrifice every time. No ifs, ands, buts about it. That's what it's all about. I know how, watch this, to sacrifice for the purpose of what? To helping others, to know it is the right thing to do. I'm always want to be on the side of right. I always want to make sure what I do is right. I always do the right thing. Yeah, I'm hooked on doing right. Okay? So sacrificing is part of doing the right thing. Make them sacrifices for the good of somebody else, not yourself. You don't sacrifice for yourself. You sacrifice for somebody else. Okay? Understand that. They say God bless a cheerful giver or the one who makes daily sacrifice. I'm both of them. So I'm saying that to say I'm blessed. I'm not gonna run around here and tell you how blessed my no. I'm gonna teach you how to get your own blessings so that you can testify and have testimony for somebody else who don't understand or don't believe how this thing works for you. Trust me, right thing, practice right thing philosophy. They know. Oh yeah, okay. Now, if you don't make daily sacrifices, you won't be blessed on a daily basis. Simple as that. It's just that simple. If yesterday you made sacrifices, you got your blessing. Today, no sacrifice, no blessing. Like at the side fell, the soup Nazi, no soup for you. God, no blessing for you. Why? You ain't earned them. Simple. You don't just give them willy nilly. You got a blessing. He ain't Oprah Winfrey. You get a blessing. You get a blessing. You got to earn them. If you don't make, oh, that's the last one. I did that. Next one. When you give of yourself, that's the sacrifice. Human sacrifice. I'm about to cause a problem, but let me break this down for you symbolically. There's some, I'm gonna break that down for you. I know about human sacrifices, but that's the most idiotic, ridiculous thing I've ever tried to conceive. If you think killing a man by splitting his heart open, splitting his chest open, taking his heart out, and eating it, gonna give you that man's powers, don't work that way. I ain't gonna get all crazy. All right, let me go ahead and do this thing, get it done when I wrap this thing up. A human sacrifice don't mean killing a human being. It means you're human. And if you make the sacrifice yourself, that's a human sacrifice. It don't mean a life. But I know you got the Mayas, you got all the ancient groups of people who take human sacrifice. Simple as that. They gonna eat your soul. No, no, don't work that way. Soul is unedible, so that don't work. But this is the concept, and many people have been rolled down that Mayan temple to the bottom with no heart in their chest because they got he gonna get their powers. Scary. When you make ritual sacrifices, I'm a Mason. I know about ritualistic sacrifices. It ain't symbolic. I'm not cutting nobody's chicken up. I'm not doing none of that. No, no, no. That's why I draw a line. If they'd have bought some animal other than the goat to ride in that to my no, not with that. Okay, so certain things you got to use your discernment, trust me. But when you make ritual sacrifices, it's all symbolically, and it's usually an animal, not a human being. When they start using human beings, you went to now here, oh, here you go. Some demonic rituals. Okay, that's what that is. That ain't nothing good about killing somebody. Talking about we need a sacrifice for the blood. And I got a good one. Did y'all know that they take babies and scare them to death? Because when you get die right before you die, that fear, you secrete DMT, a drug. They do that to get the drug to hallucinate and do what they do. Ritual. Real, not symbolic. So be careful. That's all I'm saying. And when you do rituals, it requires what? Human death. A sacrifice to the God. That ain't the God. When you take somebody's life, but no, don't get. If you're in a group and they started going to certain places that you may not feel comfortable going, you should walk out. Okay, simple as that. If you're somewhere you ain't comfortable, you should leave. But if you stay and partake, you're just as bad as the ones who are doing it. So sometimes silence is accepting, acquiescing. If you don't like it, say something or do something. Simple as that. Because if you see something, say something. So when something ain't going on that you ain't agree with, you should make the decision. Moving on, let me get this thing wrapped up. Now, they did the human sacrifice. That was just crazy. But if you believe taking the life of anyone gives you power, you are crazy. Simple as that. I don't subscribe to that. Why? As wise as I am, as much knowledge as I acquire, I know that don't work. I don't know who's preaching it, who's teaching it, or who's practicing it, but I know I won't. So that's all I can speak for myself. A human being who gives, watch this, of him or herself, again, I can tell you, they don't want to deal with me, is making a sacrifice for what? The better. If you're in a relationship, if you're trying to make it work, you need to make the sacrifices what? To better it. The situation, being selfish is just wanting what you want. Some people ain't fair. It comes down to making the sacrifice for the good of the relationship. That's why a lot of them break up. Okay. If both of us sacrifice, that means we both want. If only one of us sacrifices, that means the other one don't want. So simple deduction. Moving on. Let me wrap this up. Last one. I appreciate you tuning in. To sacrifice for what's right is being like Mr. Right. Why? Because that's what I do. That's what you do. You're being like me. Watch this. When you put what's right ahead of yourself, you're right thinking. Hands up. Yes. When you do what's right for others, you're purifying your own heart by doing the right thing. Who does that? I do. Your heart gets lighter by the deeds that you do, the righteous and virtuous person you become by doing the right thing on a day-to-day basis. Your heart gets lighter. You're going to need that light heart. Trust me. I make daily sacrifices for all by doing what? Teaching my right thinking philosophy. That's my daily sacrifice. I look forward to doing that. Like Mike Tyson say, what's self-discipline? What's discipline? Doing something that you don't want to do it like you love it. this particular thing, I love it, and I'm doing it the same way. So I'm good with that, Mike. I like that idea, though. When you make sacrifice for what's right daily in your life, you're right thinking. When you make it part of your life to do the right thing, you make it your daily lifestyle to sacrifice for the better, for the good, for others, you're right thinking master. That's my goal for have you to do just that and be that. Why? Because you know yourself, you know what you're doing for others. That's when you do it, when you know yourself. I know me, I can take care of me. I give selfless service to help others. Sacrifice. Last one. I make my daily sacrifice. Why? I love doing it. Because that's my way of life, and that's what I do for you. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I got more. Thank you.